I could get to the goal but couldn't score. So that's probably where this told me to get back in defence. You're just buzzing, you tell your family, you tell your friends, especially being a local lad, growing up 10 minutes from the city ground. Big game. I think both teams need the wins.
Wes Morgan, thank you for joining us. First of all, how are you and how have you been keeping?
Yeah, I'm good. It's nice to be on here. Yeah, enjoying the football at the moment. Obviously, FA Cup weekend, so there's a bit of a break from the Premier League, but back into it this weekend. So looking forward to the games.
And as a Nottingham lad yourself, rewind back to the summer to see Forest win promotion. That must have meant a lot to you from afar.
I think during the season, last season, the whole city, the whole town was buzzing. You could feel it everywhere you went. I was fortunate enough to get down to the playoff final and see the team win the game and get the trophy and get promoted. And it's been such a long time since they've been in the Premier League, so it's great to see my old team back.
And touching on your own career, let's take it right back to the beginning. What are your earliest memories of playing football and how did it initially become a passion for yourself?
My earliest memories is just playing on the streets, outside, probably starting with a bit of Kirby. And then just playing on any type of car park, using garages for goals. And, I've always had a football in my hands from when I can remember. And then discovered I had a bit of a talent for it and started to play for a few local teams and then playing for the city teams and a few clubs. And, before I know it, I was in the Forest Academy.
Is there any sort of players or teams that you did look up to at those early ages, or was it very much just football in general was the big motivator for you?
Yeah, I was probably a bit of a glory sport. So I think at the time Man United was flying, so the likes of Giggs and Beckham and Van Nistelrooy and some of them guys used to really get me going. So bit of a glory sport. So I used to love to watch the big teams, and that was my passion.
Played for Dunkirk and then were picked up by Forest. What memories do you have of being scouted and what were your initial thoughts at the time?
Yeah, I was playing at Dunkirk, semi-pro, playing for my mate's local Sunday team as well, which was a men's team, and just playing a bit of football here and there. And I wasn't sure where my football career was going at that point, and it was actually through my college team. So I was going to college at the time, and Chris Darwin, who was the college football manager, had links at Nottingham Forest and got me a trial. So I was playing for Dunkirk, playing for college, playing for a lot of various teams, and got a trial at Nottingham Forest. And I think there needed to be a deal between Forest and Dunkirk to get me into Forest permanently. And yeah, that's where it all began.
I was doing some research when you did sign. I think the transfer fee at the time included a donation of kits. It just goes to show how much football has changed in that time, doesn't it?
You know what? It's great to hear these kind of stories because football is so different from when I started, which was 20 years ago. And these little things just bring it back to you how magical it can be, the football, and it's just the little things sometimes make a big difference.
And when you did join the Forest Academy, how did you find the transition into full-time football when it came to YTS days?
Yeah, really difficult to be fair. I always believe I had the talent, but I was really raw, so I had to work a lot over a number of years to kind of bring myself to that kind of technical level. And playing local football, semi-pro football, you don't really watch your diet, your eating, your condition. So they're the big differences, just getting to that technical level, getting into the academy. Nottingham Forest was a top academy when I joined the team, and just the fitness side of it, getting myself in the right type of shape and the right physical fitness to be able to compete and stake a claim in the team.
And am I right in saying you were also a central midfielder at a young age, is that correct?
Yeah, central midfielder. I've been known to play up front as well for Notts County. I could get to the goal but couldn't score, so that's probably where this told me to get back in defence. But yeah, I think I made my debut for Forest, maybe left back as well. So I've covered most positions on the pitch. Probably not winger is the only position I've not played before. So yeah, it's probably a bit too late for that. But yeah, I've covered most positions, so I'm quite used to all positions on the pitch.
And then you came back, you made your Forest debut in 2003 against Port Vale, I believe, like you say, at left back. When did you find out you were making your first appearance, and what were your emotions at the time? It must have been a special occasion.
I think every player remembers their first game, and like you said, it was a cup game, Port Vale away. Me and the right back James Biggins at the time made our debut, and you're just buzzing. You tell your family, you tell your friends. Especially being a local lad. Growing up 10 minutes from the city ground, to play for the first team. Is a big occasion. So everyone's proud of you. You just hope to put a good performance in and not make any mistakes. And this is the start of your career, so you want to start off on the right foot.
And your first goal followed. That was another milestone ticked off in a 6-0 win at the City ground against Wimbledon. Do you remember that afternoon?
Yeah, Wimbledon. It was a great afternoon. I think I was probably playing. I'm sure I was playing left back at that time, at that point as well. But yeah, that was a comfortable win, and to get your first league goal. Well, it wasn't my first league goal because I scored at Kidderminster actually, but for Kidderminster. But to score for Forest, it's a big thing, and yeah, you remember all the goals, especially a defender. You don't get many, so those goals are very special.
And then fast forward a few years, the 2007-2008 promotion-winning campaign from League One to the Championship. That was such a big time and a crucial time for Forest to return to the second tier, wasn't it? And I'm sure you felt that at the time.
Yeah, I think my early days at Nottingham Forest was really tough to break into the first team, but then to suffer relegation wasn't easy to take, and it took us a while to get out the League One to back into the Championship. And it wasn't that we wasn't good enough. It was, I think everyone came to our stadium and treated it as a cup final. So we found it difficult to break down teams and get the wins, and we came close a couple of times, but yeah, like you said, finally got promoted back to the Championship, and it was a big occasion at the time, and something special because it was my first promotion as a professional player.
And then you were named permanent captain of your hometown club in 2011. How did that help you develop both as a player and as a person?
I think it was a special time for me in my career, to have that responsibility, and it's not just having the responsibility, to have that trust from the manager to give you the armband to lead the team out and make sure the players are right on the pitch is always a big thing in my head anyway, but something I love to take on, and to do that for your hometown club, especially with the tradition of Nottingham and the club and the history, is very special. So yeah, big moment for me at that time, and I was proud to be the captain for the club.
During your time at the City ground, is there anyone in particular that you got on best with? Any sort of like friendship groups that you still keep in touch with now as well?
Yeah, a lot of the local Nottingham guys, we all stay in touch. The Lewis McGugans, the David McGoldricks, Perchy, James Perch, because we played together more or less through the youth teams, through different clubs we was at, but being Nottingham guys, we're always in and around each other, and we stay in contact, and it's nice to meet up now and again. And even the boys that's gone on to become managers and to go in different directions, every now and again we'll check up on each other and just say hello and how's things, and it's good to stay in contact with these guys.
Since retiring, what have you been up to, and have you got any particular aims for the future that you're looking towards now as well?
Yeah, since retiring, I think first and foremost it's good to get a break and give the legs a rest. Playing almost 20 years is can take its toll on the body, and definitely felt it in the last few years of my career. And yeah, just interested in working in probably the senior management executive side of football in some type of capacity, and doing a master's degree in sporting directorship at the moment, which is very interesting. It's quite tough, but I enjoy it. And working in different areas in football, some stuff at Leicester, some stuff at with the Premier League and the PFA. So just keeping myself busy in different areas and just staying involved, and hopefully accomplish what I want to eventually, which is executive position in football.
And I know you have both clubs are in your heart ahead of Saturday, and it's set to be another entertaining game, particularly at the City ground with both teams eager for the points.
Yeah, big game. I think both teams are need the wins. You know, Forest obviously performed quite well in their last Premier League game, and they're out that relegation zone now. Leicester a bit too close to that relegation zone, and I've not had a good return since the World Cup to football in action, losing the last 3 games. So it's a big game. It's a derby game, you know, so anything could happen. Probably Forest want a bit of revenge from the first game that's happened this season at Leicester's ground. So we'll see what happens. You know, both teams need the points, but it's going to be a tough game for both teams.